All right, so it's time to start your fat loss journey. Where do you begin? You're looking at all these different diets. You see keto, you see paleo, you see vegan, you see carnivore, and it's just a lot to take in where you don't know where to start. Well, I'm gonna hit you with some facts right here. Number one, none of these diets are magic. You're not all of a sudden going to just eat nothing but meat and magically lose weight. It doesn't happen that way. It's not keto where you're just eating more fat so your body is more accustomed to burning fat so you're going to lose fat. That's not how it works. There's a lot of other things that you need to understand with those different diets, and you know what? If you've done them and they work for you, that's perfectly fine. But at the foundational level, nothing helps you lose fat more than calories in being less than calories out. I said it. I know. I'm a truther on this episode. It's because it's not physically possible. If you're trying to lose weight and burn fat, you have to get your body accustomed to burning what's on your body. And it would be these fat stores. And there's no magic. You can't target different fat areas or any of that. It's just a caloric deficit. And a healthy one is a 500 calorie deficit day to day. So if you're someone who has a lot of energy and you're working out 2 or even 1 time every single day, then you have to make sure it's a healthy cut. Otherwise, you're going to run into a bunch of other health issues that you don't want to deal with. And the way you do that is through tracking and a bunch of other different methods of tracking your food, tracking the macros, tracking your caloric expenditure, and all that. And before I go any further, in this video, it's a different type of video because I'm going to have my first guest. And it's someone that I relied upon when I was cutting weight, when I was cutting 25 pounds and 2.5% body fat, because I've done every single diet except vegetarian and veganism. I'm just not going to do it. I love meat. But nothing else worked and nothing was sustainable. And to this day, especially as I'm going towards a bulk and going towards maintenance, I'm still doing all the tracking. I'm still doing everything I need to do. I'm eating plenty of carbs. I love carbs. Eating plenty of meat, eating my vegetables, eating the fats, eating all of the macro essential nutrients that we need every single day to make sure that our body is healthy, mentally, physically, for any such occasion, whether I'm working out or just sitting here and working. I've never felt healthier. I've never been in better shape in my entire life. I don't want this to sound like an infomercial, but it is just the basics of how science works and how biology works in our body. None of these diets are magical. They're just different styles of eating. And in this video, I'm gonna flip it over to Dr. Ashley Dwyer, who's gonna tell you about her company, Big Day Nutrition, what she does for her clients, what she's done for me, and all the good stuff she's doing. She has great content. Make sure to follow her on Instagram and enjoy her talk.
Hey guys, I'm Dr. Ashley Dwyer. I am a pharmacist, health coach, and the owner of the Big Day Nutrition, and Wes has graciously let me come on his YouTube channel today to talk to you about nutrition and the tech I use in my company for tracking macros and for nutrition. So for those of you who don't know, I own a health coaching company. We focus on macros as well as a number of other things to get you to your goal, your nutrition goal, your fitness goal, whether that's building lean muscle, whether that's losing body fat, whether that's simply just feeling better about your body and knowing what to eat. Macros are the way to do it, in my opinion. As you saw from Wes's success, it also was the best way for him to achieve his goals. So first of all, why do I choose macros? So if I just gave you a calorie count to hit, let's say 1,500 calories a day, you can fill those calories with fats, carbs, minimal protein, and not achieve the same goal you could get if you were to say eat a little more protein, a little less fat, etc. You get what I'm saying, right? So calories are not created equal. So this is why we focus on macros. So without going too much into detail on macros, macros are simply focusing on proteins, carbs, and fats. So what you'll do is you'll get a calculated number based on your individuality, your age, your height, your stress levels, your medical conditions. There's a ton that we go into to figure out macros. You'll get a specified number of proteins, carbs, and fats to hit every single day, and then your only job is to meet those numbers as consistently as you can. So how do you meet those numbers? What do you need to meet those numbers? How do you even track macros? So first of all, the holy grail of tracking, which I use and which all of my clients use, is an app called MyFitnessPal. And so MyFitnessPal allows you to scan labels, it allows you to create recipes, it allows you to create foods if you're making it yourself, and just simply track everything in an app for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, water, everything. And why this is important is because you need to know how many macros foods are, right? So if I'm logging my breakfast this morning, so let's say I had toast, eggs, and like turkey sausage, all I would simply do is scan the labels of the food that I had, input the portion sizes that I had, and then it will tell me how many macros I ate this morning for breakfast. And then you'll go on, and that's how you'll track your day. So as I mentioned, you have to weigh them and put in the portion sizes. So this is where we're gonna kind of dive into the equipment and the other tech that you're gonna need, as well as MyFitnessPal, because you can't just guesstimate portion sizes all the time. We have to be exact as possible. So one of the things that I personally love to use, and what you have to use, is a food scale. So everyone is gonna be required to purchase a food scale. Estimating and eyeballing is not going to get you there, and this is kind of where a lot of the education comes from. So let's say you think that you're eating 2 tablespoons of peanut butter and you really realize it's like 4 tablespoons of peanut butter. That's a lot of extra calories and fat per day. So weighing things lets you know exactly where you're at, and you're able to enter it more efficiently. So these scales are super cheap. It's like $10. It works just how we want it. It measures fluid ounces, grams, and pounds, and that's literally all you need. So $10, food scale. This is the first thing on your list aside from MyFitnessPal. After that, we also require check-ins. So one way to keep yourself accountable, and how we keep our clients accountable, is weekly check-ins. And during your check-ins, you're going to be required to submit measurements, weight, and photos. So the scale is awful, but it is something that we need because you have to base on your patterns. So one thing that you're gonna need for technology is, of course, a handy scale. We have the Fit Index here. It does tell you like body fat percentages, muscle mass, things like that. They may not be 100% correct, and Wes has done a video on this as well. I'm sure he'll link it right here. But it does give you a pattern of your success. So that is what we're ultimately going for, is the pattern. So you're gonna need a regular scale as well as a food scale to track your progress and to track your food. So moving on from regular scales, you're also gonna need to do your measurements, because as I said, scales lie. So some of the things that you can use for measurements, you can use a regular old tape measure that we have, or you can use this awesome device by Ugramo, which is a digital tape measure. So what this does is it allows you to wrap around the body part that you're trying to measure, simply hook it back in, and then you can press this little button here to get as tight as possible to the area, and it will give you a digital reading of your inches, which is really freaking awesome. Because if you're like me and you're sitting there like, I don't know what my measurements are, this makes it super easy. So, but if that's out of your grasp, a simple tape measure for clothing, for tailoring, whatever, will work. We like to measure chest, waist, and hips to get an accurate proportion of our body changes. So these are the handful of items that we need. Literally, as you saw, it was 4 items plus an app that you're gonna need for tracking. One thing that I also recommend, because I love it for tracking my own recovery, my own sleep, which is also very important in your program, is your sleep and recovery, is my Woop Band. I literally never take this thing off. It is on me at all times, even when going out. So if you see me, you're gonna see my Woop Band. And I use this as an accurate gauge of my recovery and how I should perform the next day. So for example, today I woke up in the yellow, and that was after a really hard training day yesterday, which I was also in the yellow. So today might be a day where I'm gonna take it easy on my body because I don't wanna get to that red level. So Woop is very great for tracking the subjective and objective areas that maybe we don't really focus on with nutrition and a diet plan. So as you've seen, a lot of this stuff is actually really cheap, $10. This scale here, this Fit Index, is like $20 on Amazon. These are a couple of dollars. You can check out Ugramo online to also check this one out. All of this is super relatively cheap. This is subscription based, but there is a link to save a free month in the description. And MyFitnessPal is also free. You do not need the premium version to be successful on a macro plan. You can find more information about content, about macros, about the Big Day Nutrition on my Instagram at Dr. Dwyer or at The Big Day Nutrition, or on my website, thebigdaynutrition.com. So thank you guys, and Happy New Year.